aka Northumberland.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review, and welcome back to another transfer show where tonight we are mainly featuring goalkeepers tonight. As you can see, Alex is back in good old Blighty with a bottle of dog. Billy sounds like he's still loaded with cold. Still can't shift it. Hot toddies, mate, hot toddies.
I mean, with the heat in the factory today, it was like working in an oven.
Yeah, the heat in this room is unbelievable. I've got a fan belting on us, and it's rather warm today, but hope you're enjoying the weather wherever you are. We'll go through a few comments as usual before we get cracking. Santosh, good evening, everyone. Hopefully a few signings in the next few days, but people we are linked with in the last couple of days, making me a bit nervous. Jules says, like and enjoy the show, peeps, especially thanks for Paul for picking up the tab on Saturday. Ha ha. Have a great show. Take care. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you and Dave on Saturday, Julie. Louis says, congrats, Bubba Ray, on your Sinclair Award. Congrats on the Sinclair of the Season Award, Paul. How I won that over Mo Lester, I'll never know. But given that the man who said Mo Lester was actually dishing out the prizes, so he's not going to give himself for being a utter tool. Matty says, good evening, Toon Review team. I've been looking forward to this show. Definitely now we are linked with more goalkeepers. I'm interested to see how Pope shapes up against Doobs. Of course, Nick Pope, very strongly linked today, but obviously we'll come on to that. I like coffee. Good evening. The bats had me laughing. Yeah, that was interesting. Yes. Hopefully Dan can work his magic in the transfer soon rather than later. Hiya, Paul Brogue. Hiya, Bruce. Hope you're well, mate. Gary says, good evening, Paul, Alex, Danielle, and Billy. Well, Danielle's not in it tonight due to work. But good evening, Gary. Lots of people saying hello. Dan says, good evening, gents. For me, Nick Pope is a no. We always get related players, and I'm happy with Doobs and Darlow, to be fair. Interesting. James, good evening, fine tune folk. Julie's not modern tonight. Quick hello. She's at probably in some crazy slum club in Newcastle. She's up here for the week. But hope you have a good night, Jules. Goalkeeper is one of last positions we need to be looking at, but always interested to hear the output. James says we need a right winger who is better than Almiron and Fraser with respect to them both, and our backup partnership for Wilson. We have our left back already. Quick question for Alex. I've been looking. Have you scouted Octavio from Porto? Right midfield attacker, looks decent. We only look at the people that are linked, Dan, and I don't think he's been linked with Newcastle.
I have looked at him, but I've not seen any links. And I don't know. I'm not going to use the word scouted either. If somebody pays me a salary to do the scouting
Absolutely.
For a club, of course, yeah. But at the moment, I'm just a fan looking at numbers. That's all it is.
Yeah. Now, don't forget, we do have a draw at the end of the show today. In fact, two. One is for the old Greenall's Newcastle United top. The yellow one, and the other one is the purple away top from was it 2 seasons ago now, or was it last season? I can't remember. 2 seasons ago, yeah. So that one's up for grabs as well for the members. So if you're not a member at the minute, get yourself in, and I'll add you to the list. I have created a random name picker software, so the draw will be seen for everybody, so nobody can turn around and say fix. I'll just press the start button and it will give me the names of the winners. So if you're not a member already, get yourself in there for a chance to win a shirt. And of course, if it's not your size, you can either, sell it on or you can frame it, because those shirts are quite special, the historical ones. So definitely have a look at them. Should we look at Asensio for 43 million? Johan says, Friday tomorrow, the window has been open 1 week. Let's not get carried away. Good evening, everyone. Hope you are doing well. Keep up the great, fantastic, outstanding work you are all doing. Thanks, Pedro. I appreciate that, mate. George, good evening. My buddy from the matches sits in front of us, and as he will continue to do so next season. Evening, Carlos. Evening, Tom. George says, please tell me I'm not the only one who thinks Pope makes no sense. Evening, crew. Carl's in the house. Glenn's in the house.
I would like to throw something in there before we talk about players. I'm hearing a lot of this about Pope. So obviously it's difficult to catch up with the comments later on in the show. So if you guys could add on why you don't like Pope, because there's some people that do and some people that don't. So I'll throw in early on what the issues are, and then they should hopefully crop up as we're getting into the analysis, and we can and then it will make more sense. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm intrigued as to why people don't fancy Nick Pope. Interesting one. Good evening, Danielle. Off to bed shortly, of course. But Stu, hope you're well. Glenn's in the house, as I said. Everybody's saying hello to Danielle. Darren says, I thought we might have had Ekitike or Botman in by now. Well, we're not even discussing them tonight because it's just a joke at the minute. Toon Dave says, evening all. Congratulations on the Sinclair award, Paul. Hope you're not going to be too ballsy tonight, though. Yeah, John Sinclair called me ballsy. Can you believe that? Oh,
very odd.
Thanks for the support, guys. I mean, very quick answer there.
Well, I'm trying to think of a word that would describe him more, but I'm going to keep counsel on this.
Yes, I think you should, Billy. That would be wise. Alex, you received your mugs. Was Stato's mum happy with hers?
Indeed, yeah. We got all of them through. They were very nice. She was very happy.
Good. It's jumped again.
Oh, Mutley.
Sorry?
Sound like Mutley then.
I know. Darren says Nick Pope would be a signing for us. Keith Dykes, thank you for your $10 super chat. Got the mug in. Good stuff. Yes, finally, an overseas one has arrived. That's good to know, Keith. Very good to know. Barbara says, hi, Paul, Alex, and Billy. Spurs are not wasting any time, are they? No. Daniel says,
Conte's got him. Got Daniel Levy by the short and curlies, because if he doesn't get what he wants, he's going to walk. So
indeed. Cheers, Danielle, for that. I really appreciate that. Ian says, hope you're all having a mint evening. Looking forward to this one. By the way, guys, we're hoping to get Ian on again tomorrow night for the final part of the draw. As you know, if you donate, what was it, a tenner to the funds for the Sports Trader charity, you will go in the hat to win the signed Newcastle United shirt, which is a genuine one. It's got the certificate and everything like that. So we will be running that through the show tomorrow night, and we will do the draw at the end. So exciting times indeed. Johan says, I think if NUSC walk away from Botman deal, there are several players ready to come in for less and yet will perform better. God forbid he gets ballsy, Danielle. Shut up, Jason. Saudi Mind says, hi, Paul and everyone. Annie says, we've signed a goalkeeper called Stefan Bajic, who I have no clue about. Alex, special favour for me?
I'll have a look.
That'll be something done on Twitter.
I know he's brother Onion.
Samsonite. He's what, dear, Billy?
His brother Onion, Bargy.
Oh, dear God. Oh, it started. Darius, is this transfer window going to spring a few surprises for us? I hope it is. Now, of course, the fixtures were announced this morning, guys, and we faced Nottingham Forest on the opening day of the season. Alex, your thoughts on that one?
I'm not sure yet. I'm undecided. It depends on our transfer window and how the preseason goes, because we're at that funny stage where it's a newly promoted side who are very used to winning and being very dominant. They're not yet in that halfway through the Premier League season where they're getting battered. They are used to winning. They're used to being a dominant team and playing very well and getting a lot of points and a lot of wins. So for us to have to play them first isn't the best, in my opinion. It would have been nicer to play them slightly further in. Similarly to how Brentford started last year. Brentford were very, very good early doors, and then they got figured out a bit system-wise, and it dropped off. You know, so it's not unrealistic that some of these promoted teams are going to give us a good go. They're not awful. The gap is closing to a degree. So we'll see. We'll see. It does depend on it depends on a lot of factors, but I can imagine they're going to be very much how we shocked teams last year with our press and our hunger, and we got points because they just weren't expecting us to be so up for it. And I think that we could see that from teams like Nottingham Forest and maybe Fulham and Bournemouth. We might see them put up similar. So. But it'll be great. It'll be great to see them back in the Premier League, and it's a great first home fixture. So, yeah, it'll be exciting.
Cool. Yeah. Christian Frisbee, good evening from Bermuda. Well, good evening to you. I hope you're Well, the weather will be nice over there, I would imagine. Pope is basically Dubravka. What's the difference? Good evening, Dominic. George says Alex is on the Brunel watch shoot. Indeed. Billy, what were your thoughts on the fixtures? Any standout for you?
I'm really looking forward to the first game of the season, but I kind of think it's the worst time to play a promoted side, not just because they come to St James's Park, a precocious squad with nothing to fear, everything to fear. They could get hiding. There's no pressure on them to get a result, really. They're going to have a big following of fans up for the game, first game back in the Premiership after 20 odd years. So I don't like drawing the promoted sides early doors. Like Alex says, I like to get a few good hidings and then take them on. Then take advantage of their weaknesses. But there are some great. Obviously, the Man City one early doors is quite an exciting one. I think that's the perfect time to play Man City before they get into full winning order.
Of course, they had a slow start last season, didn't they?
You get out them early doors, and with the pressurised game that we've got now, and with some good new signings in, we can really give them a good game, and that'll send kind of waves around the whole of the Premier League if we can do that, and take the possession game to them as well, and beat them playing at their own game would be a massive message to send out to the rest of the Premier League.
I mean, the thing that gets me, I've seen a few people sort of going through the fixtures and saying, "Oh, we'll get 3 points here. We'll not win this. We'll get a point here." How? Nobody knows what our squad is going to look like come the start of the season. So it seems a bit pointless going through every fixture saying, "Oh, we might get this or we might get that." It's madness.
We could have 3 injuries in pre-season. We could sign twice as many as expected. Like, you never know.
Darren says James Ward-Prowse being linked with us recently would be quality signing. Trippier or Ward-Prowse for free kicks. Well, both of them really. I mean, it's. Andrew says, Alex, is that your bearded grooming salon in the background?
No, just in the conservatory, just with weird light and bad internet. But I'm trying to avoid the hay fever at the moment.
Chris says that's a very realistic backdrop, Stato. Yeah. Andy would 100% take Pope. But apparently Nick Pope's not very good at bringing the ball out with distribution. So, I mean...
Who said that?
Well, quite a few people have commented.
I know that's the interesting thing is everybody goes that way, but nobody knows why. They just say it. Because I think Burnley
didn't play that way, but Burnley were a long ball side. So what would the goalkeeper playing the ball out? Pope played for England on a few occasions.
You guys will have some pleasant surprises about the playing style.
Yep.
There's some shocks in there, honestly.
Well, of course, Nottingham Forest going for Dean Henderson as well. Good evening, everyone. Was it down to go for Pope instead of Henderson?
Henderson's off my list for today purely because he's been strongly linked with the other move, and he played 1 game last year, so there's not much data on him. So I thought it was probably better to give more time to like Pope and other people who are more realistic at the moment.
I just think he's not good enough. If we're to improve, we should be signing people to challenge our current keepers. Andrew's wondering, does John Sinclair know what Bolshe means? I don't think he does, to be honest. Is Pope much of an upgrade over Dubes, though? He's not known for playing from the back. Chris says, I hear Wood is going to Forest. Good one, Chris. Pope, not an upgrade. Like for like, so I get it. We would have good keepers, but neither world class. Callum says, sweating my balls off here. All I need is Pope to give them a gospel prayer. I understand Sterling is available from Man City. Should we try and get him? Look, that's up to the club at the end of the day, but he's not been linked. So it's pointless talking about anybody that's certainly not linked. Do you think clubs are deliberately being difficult with us in the transfer market because of who we are owned by, or players don't want to be answering awkward questions? Billy, what do you reckon?
The first part, yes. The second part, no. Absolutely, clubs are trying to get as much money out of us as they can when they know we've got a bottomless pit of money. And anyone buying, selling to us, obviously, going to ask for massive prices, aren't they? I mean, it's natural, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is proof today of that as a concept because they've inserted that into Vinicius Junior's new contract. They've inserted that clause that he's not allowed to be I think it's the release clause trigger amount is X amount higher if it's by a state-owned club such as City, PSG, or Newcastle. They've not worded it exactly like that. Obviously, it's worded so it's legally okay, but it's basically that. Perez has put that in his contract, so they are not happy about it at all.
Moxie says, evening all, I used to watch Netflix or Prime. Now it's the Toon Review. Much better entertainment. Keep up the great work. Cheers, Moxie. Glenn says, when the next lot of mugs getting sent out? Their order went in last Sunday night. So we're just waiting of them coming back from the manufacturer. I know a few people have asked for the name Dad on theirs for obviously Father's Day, but listen, we're in the hands of the manufacturer. They're made to order. But we will get to them. We will get you them as soon as we can. As soon as they come to us, we get them shipped out straight away. Ian says it's £5, mate, but a tenner is obviously 2 tickets. Well, let's go for a tenner then, Ian. Now let's try and make as much as we can. Darren says Nick Pope would put a decent performance in for us because he want to get back in the England squad for the World Cup. Clive says our squad, what we've got, will easily get into the top 8 if we continue the way we finished. Let's not panic. We are not too far yet. We are not too far yet by a mile.
Top 4, I think you meant to put.
Top 4, yeah. Good evening, Mark. Should we really have moved for Fraser Forster instead? Not for me. I think Fraser Forster's age isn't exactly on his. How old's Fraser Forster now? He must be well into his 30s, is he?
What, about 33, 34,
He's been around a long time.
Yeah, he was reserve goalie when first time we were relegated, wasn't
he? He is 34.
Yeah, not for me. No, definitely not. He has been a very, very good goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong. Certainly for Celtic, etc. But not for me. Jade says Nottingham Forest will come away from home. No fear, nothing to lose. The game will be a fiery one. Lee from Loaded says Lafont from Nantes would be Lafont from Nantes. There you go. That's your poetry for the evening. Would be a great keeper. He's on our list, I believe, for tonight. Ian says you just know Henderson will play a blinder for Forest. Keep the faith, Alex. Forest will get spanked, says Anthony. Mark says all the way here from Jamaica. Wow. Bermuda, Jamaica. Definitely.
Ooh, I want to take you. That's
Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Oh, dear me. An old classic, Mr. Trey, an old classic, without a shadow of a doubt. John Noble says, any news on the stadium sponsors and when we would get rid of Fun 88? Fun 88 will be here this season, and then that's it for them. Not sure about stadium sponsors yet, but again, the club will announce that in due course. Could we part X plus cash Pope for Darlow?
Possible.
Interesting one, but I really do think Darlow will end up. I don't know why, because I've got no facts on this, but I just think Darlow may end up at Borough. I don't know why. It's just something I've thought of all summer. I think it would be a good move for him. Goatfather's in the house. Good evening. Newcomers usually get points in the beginning. Let's hope we smash them. Barbara says, I think we shall beat Forest 3-1. No problem. Don't forget it's the opening game at St. James's. Yeah, the atmosphere is going to be fantastic. And Forest will not have played in that atmosphere for a long time. So, you have to hope whether it'll actually get to them or not, or it'll give them a big boost. But we should know. Alex will be back in a minute. Alan said, had to leave your collaborators at Loaded Mag, expressing my loyalty to Toon Review, which is my first place to visit Addicted now. Cheers, Alan. But yeah, we put our show an hour back because obviously we knew they were on. Sometimes they go over an hour, but obviously we put ours back because they had theirs out first for 8 o'clock, so it's only right. We're not in competition with them at all. We're collaborating with them, so we wouldn't want to be. So get signed up to both. Has Alex got the Newcastle training ground as a green screen? No, he hasn't. Foxy says, late to the show, have you spoke about Angelo Gabriel yet? No, we haven't. Alex has got his list. What about Henderson? Is he not coming? No idea. Christopher says, I take Minamino for 17 million, Billy. He scored 10 plus goals from the right cutting inside.
I'm not so sure about him. He didn't really pull up the trees at Southampton, to be honest, did he? And he's not really had a sniff at Liverpool either. A lot of money for someone that really has been a bench player.
He scored some good goals for them, but I think it's obviously who's around him helped with that as well. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, he's never been linked with the club, so we can't really sort of talk about it. Good evening, Guy. Hope you're well. Yes, Foxy Stato is back in the UK, mate. Christopher says, best to play the likes of City and Liverpool early on, hopefully before players like Haaland and Nunez tear teams a new one. Well, it's probably be best get them out the way in the first few games anyway. So George thinks £10 million for Pope is more like it. 40 million, Alex, for Nick Pope.
No, absolutely not. He's a good goalkeeper, and we will discuss Nick Pope, but 40 million is absolutely outrageous. Absolutely not. Not when there are goalkeepers of similar, if not better quality out there from different leagues that would be more than half the price. There's a lot of good goalkeepers floating around Europe that you can pick up for 5, 6, 7, 8 million euros. Mm-hmm. So it's purely just because he plays in the Premier League. It's just, and he's English, massive overinflation.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, now, how are you wanting to go through these goalkeepers tonight, Alex?
Well, it's a tricky one because... Sorry, give me 1 second.
I think he's put problems with his hay fever tonight, Billy.
I feel the pain.
Yeah. He's arrived in the UK and the hay fever's just gone bang. Christopher says, can't see Sterling wanting to come to the Toon. You probably want European footy. How isn't the player magnet when it comes to Europe yet? But next season might be better. Michael says, Man United don't want to be associated to our success in the future as it will make them look stupid. That is why they shafted us for Lingard and now Henderson.
And a bit of jealousy with the Saudi Arabian money that they wanted themselves. Let's not forget that.
Yeah. Good evening, Susan. Can you answer your text messages, please, if you don't mind? Unless you're doing your new phone, and that's why. But I've texted you saying that I've arranged a nice special little outing on Saturday. So yeah. Daz J says it's because we're stinking Europe and we are going for Champions League caliber players. Pope in Gabriel who's Jesus next says how's the bacon. Ryan says agents are the worst part about the transfer window. Wish players would represent themselves, but hey ho, what do I know? Yep.
Not a lot in Canada because I know it works in a very weird way in America and Canada.
Annie says we rejected a 9 million bid from Semenyo from an unnamed club. Wonder if it was you, Annie. If you're going for a player, right? If Bristol City are going for a player, I guarantee it won't be Newcastle trying to hijack the bid. We don't look that far down the leagues, mate.
Semenyo's their star player, isn't he?
Sorry?
Semenyo's their star player. Someone's put a bid in for him, apparently, but it won't be us.
Yeah.
Probably tram names.
Perez is trembling at the thought of us winning the Champions League. There may have been a few NDAs signed, and we will end up with 6 new players next week. Keep the faith. Interesting.
I've heard that from a few different people as well.
Yeah.
Not that I have sources, but there are people that are suggesting there's non-disclosure agreements.
Hang on,
which is why
NDAs. How are these in the nose getting all these information? Then if the NDAs are being signed,
it's not just in the nose. It's because they're allowed to. I think you're legally allowed to say that you can't talk about it because you're under an NDA. You just can't disclose anything like the content of that. I think you can say that you can't because it exists, and then beyond that you can't talk. So it's not just in the nose. I've seen it from certain people connected to clubs and journalists as well. It's come from a few places. Obviously, that's just me looking at what people have reported, but it's from different sources that all hate each other, who wouldn't coordinate or collaborate, are reporting the same thing. Which there's a lot of different places that hate each other. So if they are reporting similar things, sometimes it's got a bit of weight, sometimes it's not. But it's gone very quiet. A lot of it's gone very quiet since Dan Ashworth's come in, and these rumours of NDAs have flown about. It's been goalkeeper links and very young player links. It's completely U-turned from what we had 2 to 3 weeks ago, when it was all Paqueta and Diaby and this and Nunez, and it's very, very, it's a different flavour to what it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's changed completely.
Yeah. Right. Goalkeeper wise, Alex. Who have we got?
I can't screen share, but the best thing to probably do is to look at Nick Pope and compare him to Dubravka and have a look at stats. So I've got everything written down because I can't screen share at the moment.
Yeah, that's fine.
So if we talk about actual goalkeeping, saving, the meat and veg of what a goalkeeper is needed for, there isn't a lot in it. I mean, Nick Pope, so this is shots on target against. Pope has faced 159 over the course of the season. Dubravka's faced 106. So about 50 less, but obviously Dubravka missed games earlier on in the season when he was injured. And the save percentage for those, Nick Pope does beat him and has 73.6% compared to Dubravka's 67. So he's got a good 5 or 6% higher save percentage. Pope has, so he's saving more shots. He's faced more. So he's got a bigger sample size and he's got a better save percentage. So on average, he's doing a lot better in that kind of area. Now, in terms of sort of handling as well, high claims. So this is like crosses stopped. It's very similar. Dubravka's on sort of 8.1% of crosses in the match. He will come and claim, and Pope is at 9.6. So it's basically the same. So it's not much between them in terms of that. Pope edges it slightly. And then in terms of how erratic they are, how often do they rush out to be a sweeper keeper and try and if a centre back is out of position, or they need to try and do something, close somebody down who's beat the offside trap. So Pope is actually a lot better. 1.75 actions per 90. So this is him being a sweeper keeper, running out of the box and clearing the ball. Whereas Dubravka only does it 0.35. So very rarely. Once every 3 matches, Dubravka will come out of his box and clout somebody and kick the ball away. Whereas Pope's doing it nearly twice a game. So we'll keep it at saves for now. Mm-hmm. People also have to remember it's very, very difficult to compare goalkeepers in the same way we normally talk about other players, because this is highly dependent on the defensive shape and structure, who's playing in front of them defensively, what the jobs are, whether they're playing a high line, a low line, whether the instruction is for the goalkeeper to be on the ball a lot or just get rid of it, whether the goalkeeper's instructions are to rush or to stay. There's a lot of differences. So we won't do distribution yet. I'll let you guys talk about what we've just talked about. I'll save the distribution for the next bit.
It's interesting, Billy, isn't it? I mean, you know, you look at the comparison between Pope and Dubravka. Do you know what? I'm not sure, Billy. I'm not sure that Pope would be an upgrade.
I think he would.
Really?
Yeah.
An indirect upgrade is also the fact that he's 3 years younger.
Well, yeah, he's got age is a difference. Yeah.
His fitness record's far superior.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of times you watch Burnley on TV and the ridiculous saves Pope makes. I mean, I know Dubravka makes them at times as well. Martin Dubravka's a fantastic goalkeeper. I just think Pope has a slight edge on him.
Who's got the more mistakes in him, do you think, Pope or Dubravka?
Dubravka.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Bloody skipped again. Jesus Christ. Ryan says we're better off with Diaz for a third of the price. Areola at 11 million. Take him all day, every day. Now, a few Fulham fans have actually messaged me today saying that Areola is absolute quality and would do a fantastic job for Newcastle, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, he's next on the list. I just wanted to do a comparison between Dubs and Pope first, but he is on the list. Difficult to fairly analyse him because it's a lot of his stats are purely based on 11 Europa League appearances. But we'll give it a go, and he does look pretty good. So, yeah, he's on the list. Is a very good shout.
Mm-hmm. We'll come to him next. Is there anything you want to finish off with Nick Pope first, Alex?
Yeah. So, in terms of that, so PSXG is the shots, is the goals they've essentially prevented by saving consistently. So Pope's goals against just 47, and his PSXG was 50.4, which means he directly saved 3.4 goals that the stats think he shouldn't have done. So that means he pulled off, as Billy's described earlier, some of his saves were so outrageous, the stats didn't think he was going to get them, and he did. And he's prevented 3.5 goals over the course of the season. Dubravka is also pretty tidy on that front, 35 against with a 38.1 PSXG. So he's effectively saved us 3.1. So fairly similar, to be fair, both doing very well, both coming up clutch and pulling out. To be fair, both of them on their day pull out some Hollywood outrageous saves and keep their team in the game. And it shows in the data though. They're definitely saving goals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, do you want to do distribution before we change keepers, or do you want to leave distribution?
No, do distribution. May as well do distribution now.
Cool. So this is the interesting bit. This is the really interesting bit because everybody just assumes, oh, it's Burnley. Oh, it's the new Stoke. They just hoof the ball up the pitch. Well, you say that. That's actually kind of what we do as well. So the percentage of Dubravka's goal kicks that he launches the ball, which is 40 yards or more, so when he absolutely hoofs a goal kick, is 92.8%. So 93% of the time he hoofs it up the pitch. Pope, 93%, exactly the same. So that's a goal kick that's been hoofed up 40 yards or more. So when they make a decision as to what to do with the goal kick, it's identical. They always try and play it to a target man or to a runner on the wing. So people complain about that, but we have a goalkeeper doing exactly the same thing. And he was doing it well. Dubravka's distribution improved. So the launch completion percentage, this is how often they completed what I've just described, hoofing the ball up 40 yards. Dubravka's completing it 42.4% of the time. Pope only 37.7%. So Dubravka's distribution is a little cleaner, at nearly 5% better with those sort of longer kicks. And we on our shows actively noticed him improving those long kicks as the season progressed because they were quite poor, and he was kind of getting the hang of it a bit more. He was finding those long balls. So again, not much in it, but I did want to point out that stylistically, if you're going to paint Pope with that brush, you've got to do Dubravka as well. Because again, 93% for both of them in terms of how they do their goal kicks. They boot it long. So it's a bit unfair to say that that's all he does because, yeah. But that's distribution. I think that's pretty much everything important. So
George makes a point here. He says, didn't Pope drop the ball when we won our first game of the season? He did. So I don't know.
True, very true.
Listen, I'm a little bit skeptical to say the least. I don't know.
I mean, goalkeepers have made the defence in front of them, aren't they? And Burnley's defence for the vast majority of that season was diabolical, whereas ours improved as the season went on. Dan Burn, Target, Trippier, Share. They had Collins, Long, them kind of players. Tarkowski.
Yeah.
You know.
Right, just as a little bit of fun, guys. I did talk about on the earlier in the week that I was going to do the Top Gun thing on TikTok. It has been done. I did have it tashed for around half an hour yesterday. Now, if you want to see the full video, go to the TikTok account of the Toon Review. But this is the finished article on your screen right now. Eat your heart out, Tom feckin' Cruise.
Wow.
Now, I obviously didn't have that outfit. Susan photoshopped me into it. But that is my tash, ladies and gentlemen. And I certainly don't look like... You what?
Should have made out it was yours. No one would have noticed.
Yeah, I don't dress like that. Some people would like me to. Susan, but unfortunately, I don't own anything like that. Stotty says, hi, chaps. I was in goal at school for footing out. Yes, I was crap. No one Alden mentioned the other night. I might have missed it. Ariola, Lee Davies said is something erratic. Good evening, Stu. Local Hero says, can we buy the kid from KES swinging on the crossbar? Never seen it. Yeah. For me, about Pope, Dubs is surely better. Clean sheets, etc. Why dig around the relegated? Just joined now. Football as well. Thanks, Peel Keith. We are good.
Clean sheets is an unfair metric to judge a goalkeeper on as well, because that depends so much on the 10 players in front of them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. Right. Ariola next, Alex.
Yeah, so, I mean, people have mentioned he's erratic. I've not watched enough of him to confirm that. There's nothing in the data that screams he's crazy erratic. I mean, again, it's difficult. It just counts as an error, just like when Pope's dropped the ball. You've got to watch these games to really know these moments. These are things that are difficult to track in data. When a keeper half drops the ball but then recovers it, that doesn't get logged as anything statistically, but we all see it and it makes us all panic.
Yeah.
So it's kind of difficult to pinpoint erraticism. Is that a word? Being erratic? I don't even know. We'll go with it. Yeah, so not as much to go on, but save percentage closer to 78%, which is nearly 10% higher than Dubravka, 5% higher than Pope. So save percentage, and most of this is in his Europa League minutes as well. So he's playing against generally harder opposition week in, week out. Whereas Pope and Dubravka will have had easier games against Norwich and things like that. So whereas Ariola's faced a lot harder opposition for the majority of when he's played. And yeah, he launches the ball a lot less often, sort of 3 times fewer per game than the other two do. In terms of rushing out as a sweeper, doesn't do much of that as well, 0.3 per 90, so he doesn't rush out as a sweeper keeper. Doesn't high claim it though, only 3%. So he doesn't come out to command his box and sort of pluck crosses out of the air. Again, it's very dependent on who the centre-backs are and the instruction of the team. If the manager said to the keeper, let the centre-backs clear it, he's got to listen to that. So again, you've got to take the stats with a pinch of salt. It doesn't mean that he can't do that necessarily. He fails a little bit on his conceded metrics. So he conceded 48 goals, and his PSXG was 46. So he actually lost his team 2 goals. He should have saved those. The data thinks he should have saved them. So in the opposite way to Pope and Dubravka saving 3.5 and 3.1 goals, Lafont's actually cost his team 2 goals, according to the stats. But that, again, it's just stats. And he's all right. He's okay. He seems like a far more solid shot stopper generally. His save percentage is a lot higher against higher opposition as well. But there's not too much to go on. One thing I tried to look into was touches as well, touches of the ball. I noticed that Alisson touches the ball 40 times per 90, and the rest of the lads on this list are only between 30 and 34. So I thought, well, maybe we need to look for that. And then I noticed that Edison is also only touching the ball 30 times. It depends on the defenders in front of you and the instruction. So Edison's not touching the ball much because the centre-backs do the work and the passing, whereas Alisson is heavily involved because of sort of Matip and players not being as efficient on the ball as the Man City defenders. So again, you've got to take a lot of this with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
He's 29 years old as well, so he is the youngest of who we've discussed so far. We've still got Lafont to go as well, but so yeah, he's a tad younger. He's a tad more reliable in the save percentage. But again, it's very difficult for us as a fan base to go, yes, we need this keeper, because we don't know if Howe's gonna want to play through the centre backs or through the full backs, or whether he wants the keeper to have lots of touches or not many touches. Or we don't know what the expectation is for the goalkeeper role. So it's kind of impossible for us to pick this. It's way easier for us to pick what we want in striker and winger because it all makes sense. We know what Hal likes because we've seen it, but we don't know what he actually wants from his keeper going forward. It's very difficult to know.
Well, I suspect Eddie Howe doesn't know until he gets the side of the truth in centre half. To be honest,
I've just put a poll on there. Now the poll is between Henderson, Pope, and Areola at the minute because those are the three that have been really strongly linked. So I'm putting a poll to see who the viewers would like out of those three. I'm interested actually to find out who would be. If you are enjoying the show, guys, we've got over 700 watching tonight, which is again fantastic. If you would love to become a subscriber of the Toon Review, hit that subscription button. It costs nothing at all, and hit the notification bell that will let you know when we upload or go live. You can become a member of the Toon Review, of course, if you hit that join button just underneath the video itself. And you can donate to the channel, as Keith has very generously already tonight. If you hit that $sign at the bottom of the live comments, that will take you through that way. And as Susan commented just before there, she is putting another order in for mugs tomorrow. Now, just to let you know that our supplier is away for a week on vacation, I think back end of this month. So there will be a delay in them coming back to us once we get a batch together again. So this will be the final order for a while. So if you want a mug, then this is the place to go and get it.
So let's get down to business. I've been waiting, think I wanna make that move now. Baby, tell me if you like it. Tell me if you like it now. I've been waiting, think I'm gonna make that move now. Baby, tell me how you like it. Let's get down to business.
So there you go, guys. The toonreview.co.uk. As Susan said, she's putting another order in tomorrow, and the supply will be away for a week after that. So there will be a delay in them all coming back after this one. So it is going in tomorrow. So if you want a mug, get to the toonreview.co.uk and get your orders in that way. And just to let you know, if you do want a personalized mug, please make sure that you view the cart before you check out, because when you view the cart, it gives you a little box to put the name that you want on your mug if you go for a personalized one. So if you can just make sure you do that, please. Alex, you have news.
Yeah, so from Migs Toon fan on Twitter was kind enough to tag me in something before the show. Very interesting. It was actually from Lille's main Twitter, not from their English variant. They have an English version of their Twitter, which they hadn't posted on. They've posted it on the main French Lille, which is fin de la collaboration entre Lille et Jocelyn Gourvenec, which is Lille's manager. Collaboration,
yes.
fin.
They've sacked him.
Gone.
They've
Lille's manager's gone. So...
And do you know who the rumoured manager is to be coming in?
I do not.
Fonseca.
Oh, I did. So, I saw fans posting memes of him, but I didn't know if that was true.
Now, is that the reason that the Bottom deal has died off a little? Who knows? Because
it's an interesting point. It may or may not have influence, or have already had influence on these transfers, but you never know.
Yeah. Very interesting. I mean, the timing of the sacking seems a bit strange. If they were going to do it at the end of the season, surely.
It's a bit odd doing it a couple of weeks in, isn't it?
It is. James says, personally love Keylor Navas. Rhea, when injured, Brentford could not win a game. Rhea's a good goalkeeper, actually, at Brentford. Brilliant Absolutely goalkeeper. Really good keeper, yeah. Billy, what's your thoughts on Areola?
I just don't think he plays enough football. You know, he can't get in ahead of Fabianski at West Ham. He was goalkeeper at relegated side at Fulham. I'm not sure he's cut out for the Premiership. He does really well in Europe.
Did well for PSG.
PSG is obviously anyone could play and golf for PSG.
He got one Premier League appearance.
That's a good point. Yeah, even Alex couldn't. He's only 3'2". Fair enough. Listen, I don't know. On the three keepers, on Henderson, Pope, and Areola, I mean, look, Fulham fans really highly rate them and say they do a fantastic job for us. But we haven't seen, and you could say that for Henderson as well. I mean, there's Ryan saying, it's 2 years since Henderson played regular football. He got a few games. He came in for David De Gea for a while, didn't he? When De Gea was a little bit out of form. But obviously De Gea came back from that out of form and then turned to a god again. So I would love us to get.
I think Henderson's going to Forest anyway.
Could you imagine sniffing around Man United and trying to persuade De Gea to leave? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Foxy says Areola in La Liga for Villarreal had the third best clean sheet record as well, behind Atletico Madrid and Barca. Broke the club record of 615 minutes without conceding a goal. That is not bad when you're playing for Villarreal, to be fair. Toon need to sign Areola and get abreast of the situation. Jesus God. Chipper says that Mrs. Toon Review, here you and Paul could have asked me to be a hand model for their mugs. Absolutely not, Chippers, because I don't know where your hands have been, my friend. Stephen says, feeling down tonight due to mental health and watching news perks me up. Honestly, big up the Toon Review. Thanks, Stephen. Don't sit there alone, mate. If you need to reach out, please do. Don't suffer on your own, matey. There's plenty of people out there who can help you, especially in this Toon Review family. So keep your head up, buddy. We'll be here most of the time anyway to make sure you cheer up. And he says Fonseca's been appointed Lille manager now, so there you go. It's certainly happened very quickly, hasn't it? Because
I mean, I was doing my research and just writing on my pad, so things that happened a couple of hours ago I might have missed.
I don't think that'll affect the Botman thing now because he wants out, didn't he?
Yeah, he said he wants out, and I can't see how Fonseca coming in is going to change his mind on that. What about the Brighton keeper, says Jason? Well, he hasn't been linked, Jason, so we're not really going to speak about him. But yes, very, very good goalkeeper. Paul, good evening. Very warm night indeed it is.
I think he did get linked, actually, but it was a while ago, though. It's not come back around for a long time. So
yeah.
And he is erratic. I mean, all we've got to do is remember the game at Brighton that season where he hacked Callum Wilson up.
Yeah. Tony says, is Leno definitely going to Fulham? I'd have him over the lot. Well, he's on our list, isn't he, Alex?
Possibly.
You told me to put him on the thumbnail.
We've been linked with like 9 keepers, and it's about choosing, realism and balance. The one thing I will say about Leno, even if we don't talk about him or do talk about him, let's remind ourselves that he was dropped by Arteta at Arsenal because they wanted somebody who was a better distributor who could try and play football a bit more, and that is the reason why they paid for Ramsdale and put Leno on the bench. So just by that logic alone, without even going into the data, the fact that he's been dropped for another keeper to be a distributor is concerning. It is very concerning because we want to be better than Arsenal soon, like very soon. That's the plan. So we can't be signing people who they deem not good enough because we want to play sort of Arsenal kind of football. We want to be pretty passing, dominant, aggressive, 4-3-3, nice formations. If he's not good enough for them, then he's not good enough for us, is he really? Not if we're going to whack him on a 3 to 5 year contract. So we're just going to have to go. We're just going to have to go in another direction anyway.
Dana Boy, who is a West Ham United fan, says, "Take it from a West Ham fan. I wouldn't want West Ham to sign Areola on a permanent transfer." Interesting. How much is the Cambridge keeper? Says Rossi. He had a blinder against us. Yeah, he had a blinder against us, but I don't think he was that impressive with the rest of the season, unfortunately. But that was just our look at the time, wasn't it? Let's take a look how the Pearl is going at the minute. Interesting. Dean Henderson leads the way on 40% at the minute, followed by Nick Pope on 37%, followed by Areola on 23%. We'll leave that going for a little bit more, but that's very interesting. Henderson 3% ahead so far. It's a battle. Jade says, Paul, I plan on a lot of fluids and baking like a potato. Yeah, it's got to be hot tomorrow, apparently. Jason says, only flies sniff around manure. I am pissed at the way manure and Spurs do business. Yeah, I know what you mean there. Goalkeeper should be least of our worries. Focus on other areas. Mark and Danny say, hey, all hopes you're all well with new players. We have to remember the how factor. How are the lads? I'd rather go and buy Andre Onana as our goalkeeper. Billy, we all know what song.
His name?
Onana. What's his name? Onana. Yeah, you just know. James says, I would not like to do that to West Ham like Moyes. Yeah. Gannon Yem says, maybe we don't want to deal with Man United after Lingard issues in January. Well, I'm sure they put a lot of the Newcastle hierarchy off. Yeah. But interesting. Alex, next keeper?
So it is Lafont. It's the one that obviously Pete Davies mentioned a few times that his name's floated around. Very, very, very good keeper. His name's been popping up for the last 2 years in sort of general football YouTube world. He's a young, talented keeper. Yeah. He's, for people who maybe don't watch football outside of the UK, he's fairly well known as a top young keeper, and he's not bad. He's not bad. He played pretty much all the minutes, lots of minutes. So he had 150 shots on target against, which was only 9 fewer than Pope. Yep. So he's receiving similar sort of poundings at the goal line. He's got a lot of defending to do.
Yeah.
And his save percentage is 70.7. So it's 3% less than Pope, but he's 23 years old. So to be putting up numbers, reflecting that for his age is extremely impressive. I think it's these stats aren't blowing people out of the water, but it's the fact that he's profiling. He's 23 and he's doing this. So he's only doing launched goal kicks sort of 5 to 6 times per match, which is a couple fewer than Dubravka and Pope are doing, and similar to Areola as well. In terms of being erratic and rushing out of the box to be a sweeper keeper, he's doing that 0.74. So getting close to once per game, he'll rush out of the box to close somebody down. High claims is on 8% as well, so pretty much the same as Dubravka. He'll occasionally sort of pluck a ball out of the air. But yeah, we mentioned the issues with he could have saved a few more than he should have done. His stats went against him a little bit, but again, he's 23 years old. And one of the interesting things as well, I wrote down the stat and I forgot to label what it was. I've highlighted it as super interesting, and I've not written what it is, which is really annoying. It is, yeah, so it's a percentage of launch goal kicks is at 80.4%, and he kicks it the longest out of any of the lads. He kicks it 58 yards, so he gives it a good whack. So there's not much else to say. His numbers are somewhere in between Pope and Areola, somewhere in the middle. The difference being he's 23 years old, and that is a key point there. Yeah. In terms of stature as well, he's 6'4", so predominantly right-footed. He profiles very, very well. Builds for the future as well. I mean, if you look at the age profiles of all of our goalkeepers right now, with the exception of Woodman, who it looks like there's been a lot of reports of him going to Preston. I don't know if that's happened yet or not. I'm not sure. But every other keeper's over 30. So somebody who can put up similar numbers to Dubravka and be developed at 23 years old, I think is a good shout. I would agree with other people that if I had to make a decision on the spot right now, I would pick Lafont.
Really?
Yeah, based on age, I'd keep Dubravka in and then have Lafont, and then they could fight out in cups and whoever's best in form. And then when Dubravka does his silly ankle foot injuries, then Lafont's in.
Interesting. Billy, you're nodding your head to tend to agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, 23 years of age, he's 6-7 years from his peak, isn't he? So seems lots of future in this goalkeeper, and the potential's there with the figures that Alex has stated. Yeah, 100% get him in, 100%. Out the lot so far, he'd be my choice.
Yep, seems like a good one for us, without a shadow of doubt. Jason says, what's the crack with Ekateke and Botman? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Jason, you're a cheeky git. Wow, the King of Morocco piping up. Oh, Nana. George says, look at how improved Joe Linton. He could turn water into wine and Pope into Buffon. Wow. If he ended up as good as Buffon, that would be absolutely tremendous. There is, tell you what, yes. If we got another Buffon. Davey says, our transfer targets are press related, nothing coming from NUFC. Toon Dave says, that TikTok is more village people than top, you cheeky bastard. Lee from Loaded says Lafont would be great. Absolutely. Well, there you go. Is Kepa Pig available or even alive still? Where's he gone? Yeah, he was linked early doors, but that disappeared soon. Just disappeared completely into the wilderness. Sign the cycling goalkeeper. I think he means Ben Foster. No, listen, we don't want to turn St. James's Park into an old people's home again. We had that with Rush, Barnes, Pierce, etc. We don't want to go down that route again when they're walking on the pitch on the commodes. No, thank you very much. I heard that Egard didn't turn up for his West Ham medical today, scheduled for tomorrow now. Yeah, he didn't. There is a lot of worry amongst the West Ham fans that we have stepped in, Alex.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I feel sorry for them in a way because if we were going to annoy a club, I would rather it was one of the big six. Because I would rather sort of teams around us were all kind of doing well and improving. But, I mean, they should have signed him. They've been messing about. They've been linked with him for about 3 weeks. Other teams have signed pre-contracts. I'm not saying that we're any better because, of course, we're still dilly-dallying as well. We've not gotten people over the line. But it's business, is how it works. And the question is, as I think you've mentioned it, and I think many people have mentioned it, is it a bluff for Botman, or is it legit? Have we moved on? Like it's who knows? We're not privy to that information, but it's interesting. It's becoming a bit of a drama TV show. There's definitely a funny animated series out there somewhere about this.
Interesting question from Laura there. Will Brighton have an agreement that we can't sign any of their players for a year because of Dan Ashworth? Billy? I don't think they would have that stipulation in, would they?
Wouldn't be surprised. Very possible, I think.
Right.
I mean, why wouldn't we link with the Bassoon, mate? Be an ideal player for us.
Well, Bassooms, of course, he's gone to Tottenham, and they've lost him.
29 million as well, which seems very cheap.
Absolute bargain. Declan Rice to the Toon. If we achieve at least Europa this season, says Jason.
No, it's 150 million.
No. Ian says, what do you reckon of the kick-ins that Mad Professor Wenger wants to introduce? Ridiculous is my statement on that.
What's this? I've not heard about this. Kick-ins?
Instead of throw-ins, he wants kick-ins, he wants to transform the game, basically. And it just absolutely... I heard an interview on the radio today. Somebody was talking about it and going absolutely mental, saying it's the most stupid idea you could ever think of. And apparently they trialed it in the lower leagues, and some of the managers refused to play that way, and just kept the throw-ins. So I don't think that's going to take off in a hurry. Tony says he'd rather have Jodie Foster as first choice goalkeeper than Ben Foster. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Mixes, I don't think we're looking for a new number one. I think we're just trying to get someone in to give Dubravka more competition. Johannes says, anyone think that Paqueta will sign? That's gone very quiet as well, hasn't it?
I think it's all about the Botman deal. We don't want to sign Paqueta and give Milan more money to buy Botman with. I think that's what that's all about. Yeah.
That's a good point, actually. Pepsi Max in the Toon review mug for Billy Boy.
No, I'm on the other brand, beginning with C, 0.
Oh, you've gone to the C0 lately, Billy. What's the crack with that?
I'm doubled up here. I've got cherry up as well.
Wow. Other beverages are available, of course, but if you would like a bigger shout out, get in contact. Email is at the bottom of the description if you work for certain companies and want to get involved that way.
I could just put it there, can't I? Oh, no.
Yeah.
There we go.
But not Cola.
Roller cola. I tell you what, that was some deadly stuff. That I tell you what though, if you wanted perking up, just drink a bottle of roller cola. I'd Christ, you'd be doing a Lionel Richie and dancing on the ceiling. Yes, Novik, I've seen that. By the way, massive happy birthday to the King of Qatar. Roy Caviani contacted him earlier on today. Said he wasn't having such a great day today, so I hope you're okay, mate. And happy birthday anyway. And we'll speak to you soon, buddy. But enjoy the rest of your day. Pierce was great for us, to be fair.
I thought we got rid of him too soon, to be honest.
Do you?
Yeah, he went to West Ham and he kicked it up for them for a couple of seasons. He was still playing when he was 41, weren't he? We let him go at a young 37.
Stephen says, anyone heard about the young guy from Kilmarnock coming? Is he a talent? Yes, he is. Very, very highly thought of. MacArthur, very, very good player. Is it MacArthur? It is MacArthur, isn't it?
I've got all these. Everything that people have mentioned tonight is all down for other show. Yeah, the Santos kid as well, and Gabriel.
We have got another show tomorrow night, so we will mention a few players there. But yes, very, very good player. Julie says, I passed the West Ham training ground tonight on my way home. Looked totally deserted. Yeah, so nothing happening there. Hi, Paul. Just seen the Top Gun clip. I thought it was a Grinder ad. There's just no need.
Say what you see, Roy. Oh, it's one.
Yeah. Do you guys know what Grinder is, by any chance?
Of course, yes. It's public knowledge what Grinder is.
Okay. I'm just asking, Billy. You know.
The fun.
Tony says, happy birthday, King of Qatar. Jason says, should have gone for Basuma. Didn't realise Brighton were willing to sell him that cheap. Imagine not being linked with Newcastle at the moment. It must be embarrassing. Dana Boy says, have you guys still got like 4 or 5 goalkeepers? Well, yeah. I mean, we've, that's the problem. We're talking about goalkeepers coming in, but we need to get some out the door.
We had parts of the season where we had like 3 keepers on the bench. We got like 4 in the 25-man squad. It was embarrassing.
It was very embarrassing, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles at the moment, unfortunately. Dana Boy says Declan Rice to NUFC with, I don't know what the M emojis are.
I mean, we'll take him, but for like 20 million, we're not paying, nobody's going to pay 150 million for him.
Times I've seen him play, I would have him in a second. He dominated the game against us at St James's Park at the start of last season. Absolutely ran the show. He was brilliantly that.
In the same season though, when in the return leg, he was the reason we got a point.
He was dreadful, wasn't he, that game? Twice. He should have lost the game.
Yeah, because he did the same mistake twice back in his own box, not understanding. Positional awareness was poor, and Joe Linton could have scored. It could have been 2-1, or literally down to Rice twice. He could have lost his team like points completely there.
Yeah. Tony says, is Alex on the Polish brown ale? No, he's in the UK, mate. So it's the good stuff. Lots of people complaining about that rubbish that Wenger's come out with. Fair play to Conte. He's taken Spurs to the next level. Rowan says, good morning all here in Australia. Just joining in. Good morning, Rowan. Hope you're well, buddy. Happy birthday to Roy. Lots of happy birthdays. Lee says, Alex, brown ale is on special at the moment in Morrison's, 99 pence a bottle and 4 for the price of 3.
Wow.
I've never tasted brown ale yet.
Oh, it's a beautiful drink.
I got 3 for a £5. I went for Hobgoblin and Nuki Brown.
Oh, good God. Andrew says, Pierce was another legend. I was over the moon to see him play for us.
I saw his league debut for Coventry City when he was 19. Absolutely. Yeah. You could tell then he was going to be a definite massive England international. He was awesome.
Yeah. Alex, are you any other goalkeepers to mention?
Well, I've not been able to do as much of in-depth on Leno because he's not played enough minutes for me to have access to what we've talked about with the other keepers. But just looking at his overall profile, it gives me a little bit. 4 appearances in the Premier League this season, with the save percentage being 52.6%, which is abysmal, with a goals against per 90 of 2.25. So it's very unfair because it's based on an extremely low number of minutes, limited appearances, But yeah, even that's not good. I mean, the argument would be, okay, if he's not the best distributor, fair enough. But is he a worldie at saving?
Yeah.
Not that much better than the others around there. He's a great shot stopper. Yeah, he's an international. He's a very good goalkeeper. But I don't get it. I wouldn't get the move. I don't understand. We'd be better off going for somebody younger.
Yeah.
I mean, Richard Butler, he'll tell you till he's blue in the face that Leno's the best goalkeeper at Arsenal. He's massively with Leno ahead of Ramsdale.
A lot of people say that, yeah. There's a lot of people connected to Germany say the same as well, say that he's not getting the... This is why I take a step back and say, fair enough, he's not made appearances, it's difficult to judge him because, yeah, I've heard the same. A lot of people give him a ton of credit. Maybe there is a lot more in there that we've not seen. Yeah.
Time will tell. Time will tell. I Like Coffee says, Alex is tempting me to want to try brown ale. You'd be surprised how many people up here haven't actually tried it, but you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. Ian says, never tasted brown ale, unsubbed, disgrace.
It's got to be cold,
I will try it.
It's got to be cold.
Tony says, it's sweeter than you think. I thought it would be bitter like John Smith's, but it's actually really nice.
John Smith.
I will give it a shot. I will give it a shot. There is no doubt about that. Johnson Street says 1997 was a joke after the highs of Ferdinand and Ginola being sold for what we paid for them. After how well they both did, then to sign Pierce, Barnes, and Rush. Oh my God! Good evening, Jordan. Haven't missed much. Well, pretty much the show. Ian says I make a beef stew with brown ale in the slow cooker. Wow. Tom says Newcastle brown ale owned by Heineken, who moved production from Tyneside to Yorkshire, costing local jobs, but still trading on the city's name. Disgusting. No one should be drinking it.
I didn't know that.
Well, hopefully they won't. Well, maybe the owners will buy it back and build a brewery somewhere. The host hasn't tried a bottle of dog. It must be a fake channel. Well, it's not. Listen, it's just the way it is. Clint Eastwood drinks brown ale. Okay. I drink it. It's the nuts. I committed a sin last week, lads. I got my brown ale in cans. Sorry.
Tin taste.
Yeah. Right. We've gone through the goalkeepers. It is now time for we are doing 2 draws tonight for the 2 shirts. So if you're a member, you're in it. I will just bring up the shared screen if you bear with me 1 minute. Share screen. Yeah. No, I don't want the printer. What are we doing here? Chrome tab. There we are. Doosh. That's it. Share. Right. Is that up on your screens?
It is.
Okay. Right. As soon as I hit start, it is going to go through for the first draw. All the names are in. So here we go. This is the first draw for the yellow Greenalls shirt. Here we go.
And this is the top shirt as well.
Peter Gould, you are the winner of that. So, Peter, if you can contact me via Twitter or via the email address for the Toon Review, which is simply pd.toonreview@gmail.com. With your address, and I will get that sent out to you. You've got a couple of days, obviously, to claim that. If not, we'll do another draw for it. So the second one for the purple Newcastle shirt. Here we go. Geordie Clough, you have won that shirt. So Geordie Clough, hopefully you're watching. If not, if you're watching the rerun, get in contact me via social media, Facebook group, Instagram, whatever it may be, or email pd.toonreview@gmail.com, and we will get that shirt out to you. If you can send me the address as soon as you can, please. So well done to Peter Gould and Geordie Clough, today's winners. Well done, and as I say, get them addresses to me straight away, and I will get them straight off to you. You've got till Sunday to claim. If you haven't claimed by Sunday, then we do another draw for them on Sunday. But that will, hopefully, you'll both claim then before then. So fantastic news for you guys. Right, we will be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. with another show. We will have some more players. Alex has certainly done his homework on that. So there you go.
I should be able to get my other monitor and everything nice and pretty on the screen as well. And we've got some really, really interesting players tomorrow as well. We've been linked with the links that have come out in the last few days are very different to everything we've reviewed on the show. Like I'm very excited for it. So definitely come and go and watch it.
So there you go. And the results of the poll. The results of the poll are that Nick Pope has won it. Nick Pope is on 40%, overtook Dean Henderson, who is on 37%, and Aliola on 23%. So Nick Pope won the poll at the end. So that pipped it very late. So people are asking me to try brown ale live on stream. That's not a bad idea, actually. Get my reaction to that straight away.
Drinking stream.
Yeah, we'll all just get hammered on stream. We'll do a Danielle.
We can watch when they do those games where they'll watch a movie, and if certain things happen, you drink. We should watch a Steve Bruce match, and if certain really poor things happen, we can drink. Yeah.
But that is it for tonight, guys. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It is free to do so. We are nearly at 11,500 now, onwards and upwards still towards 12, which will be fantastic. Hit the notification bell as well. Hit the join button if you want to become a member and get in a chance of winning these prizes. What are you pointing at, Alex?
The like and subscribe button.
Oh, yes. Wherever it is, yes. We'll do the thing on the thing. So please do become a member if you like. And we will be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. For another transfer show with some very interesting players, as Alex has put it there. Thank you guys for joining me tonight, Billy and Alex. And thank you to the mods for all your help. And thank you to everybody out there for taking the time to watch us tonight again. And we will see you tomorrow night. If there's any breaking news tomorrow, obviously we'll bring it to you straight away. But for now, until tomorrow night, guys, be kind. Good night.
How are the lads?